meditation teacher, author, and self-discipline coach. And every week, same day, same time, I come here to share ideas, insights, exercises around the topic of mindful self-discipline. So this series is all based on the book and website of the same title. And today we are talking about people in your life, the influence of people in your life, and how you can navigate relationships in a way that is empowering and helpful to your self-discipline, to your goals. And also we're going to talk about lifestyle elements such as sleep, food, and exercise. How can we organize them in a way that they give us more energy and more willpower and support us in our journey? So today it's chapters 35 and 36 of the book. If you don't have the book, you haven't read it, everything that you need to understand this class will be explained in this class, so you don't need to worry. But if you have the book, that's where you can go to, chapters 35 and 36, to learn more, to see the examples, the exercises, and to, have the whole picture of what we're doing here. So I am broadcasting this live through the Insight Timer app and also on my YouTube channel. Wherever you're watching this from, welcome. So mindful self-discipline. Self-discipline is not self-punishment, it is self-respect. It is you keeping your commitments to yourself. And when you do that, you like yourself more. You experience greater self-esteem and self-confidence. You feel more satisfied at the end of each day. Self-discipline is about living your life aligned with your values, aligned with your goals and aspirations. It is prioritizing the things that are most important for you, not only on paper, not only in your ideals, but in how you actually live your life. Self-discipline helps you bridge that gap between how you want to live your life and how you're actually living your life. And when you can do that, there's a sense of fulfillment. There's a sense of alignment, of things being in the right place. And when you don't do that, there is chaos, there is wasted energy, there is regret over the long term. Now, the most popular approach to self-discipline out there is very much all about willpower and mental toughness. It's that drill sergeant approach. And that's why I call it military self-discipline or the Marine self-discipline. The way I teach self-discipline, it's first awareness, then willpower. And the order makes the whole difference. It's not beating yourself up. It is gently but effectively coaching yourself to show up as your best and to live aligned with your values. I'm not sure if you guys are seeing the comments. It seems to be stuck for me. Are we still online? Are you guys still here? Okay. Wonderful. And so in mindful self-discipline, we have 3 pillars: aspiration, awareness, and action. Aspiration is to know your purpose. Awareness is to remember your purpose. Action is to live your purpose, to make decisions day in and day out that affirm your aspirations. Okay, so I would love to hear from you of these 2 topics. Lifestyle elements such as exercise and food versus people in your life, the influence of people in your life, and how to have better influences and not clean up, that's a bit of a wrong word, but make sure that the people in your life are empowering you rather than disempowering you. Which of these 2 would you like to focus more on today? Are aspirations similar to intentions? Stephanie asks. An aspiration is something deeper than an intention. Like I show up to this class with an intention of explaining this content in a way that is clear and engaging. That's an intention. It energizes and informs the way I show up. But an aspiration is something much bigger. I want to help people live with more awareness and willpower. And I do that through the books I write, through the courses and app I create, through my articles, my blogs, my live classes. An aspiration is that overarching theme behind your goals and actions. Okay? So the focus will be on people, but we'll cover them both. All right, so let's start talking about people in your life. And that is chapter 35 of Mindful Self-Discipline. Okay. So your influencers. We are profoundly influenced by people we spend time with, consciously and unconsciously. The way that we are consciously influenced, it's somewhat okay because we are aware that that influence is there, and we can kind of place a mental barrier saying like, no, I'm not going to be influenced to think in this way, even though my friends think this way. No, I'm not going to be influenced to have this negative habit, even though this family member, this friend has this negative habit. So the conscious influences are easier to manage. But even in that case, it takes energy. While that energy, if you didn't need to spend that way, it could be available for you to work on your goals. Now, the really dangerous one is the unconscious way that we are influenced by other people. And those are things that we can't see by default. They are, by definition, they are unconscious. And so there's no way we can protect ourselves against it directly, other than not being in that place, not being in that person's world, not having that person in our world, or holding on to our aspirations, to our values, to our worldview really strongly. So that already creates a natural buffer against everything else. We tend to adopt the same goals, beliefs, preferences, habits, and narratives or stories of the people we associate ourselves with. And there's an evolutionary reason for this, that we are more likely to survive historically if we are part of a group. We are stronger if we are part of a group. If we are alone as human beings, it's more likely that we're going to die, that we're not going to find resources, that we're going to be attacked. And our brain's primary purpose, primary mission is survival. So you can see why there is this strong pull to make sure that we fit in the group, to make sure that we are liked, to make sure that we are not rejected, that we are not left alone, because that means pain and death to our brain, to that primitive part. That increases the chance of pain and death. And so to fit in with the group, we consciously and unconsciously align ourselves with the way they think, the choices they make, their habits of life, etc. Now, luckily, in this global human tribe, there are many sub-tribes, and you can choose your sub-tribe. You cannot choose your parents and your family, but even in that, there are choices. But you can choose the people you spend time with, the places you hang on online, the places, the things that you read, listen to, the social media accounts that you follow, the influences that you expose your mind to. That is within your power, and that matters a lot. Our mind sees them as the norm. and so we want to comply. We gravitate towards those narratives and behavior, even if they are not exactly how we see things, not exactly what we value. We tend to adopt those same goals and ways of thinking, consciously and unconsciously. Negative influences are powerful. Positive influences are also powerful. If people around you are also complaining, you will tend to find things to complain as well. If people around you are not taking care of their health, are eating poorly, are not exercising, you will be pulled to do the same, to feel that that's okay. Now, there's research showing that if a member of your family or friends group gets divorced, it's more likely that you get divorced. Why? Well, somehow maybe that plants the seed, or maybe that makes us kind of give up on trying. I don't know. We have to go deeper in those studies and theorize about it. But if members in your friends and family are overweight, it's more likely that you become overweight, because we tend to make choices and create habits similar to those people that we spend time with. Likewise, on the positive, if everyone around you is meditating, reading, reflecting, wanting to grow, you will be pulled to do the same. If people around you are motivated and optimistic, you will tend to feel the same. If your partner believes in you, you will tend to believe in yourself as well. So it goes both ways. And the key idea here is choose your influences very carefully. This message has been echoed by wise people of all ages, in all cultures, traditions, religions, that we are the average of the 5 people we spend most time with. And in this day and age, where our influences is not only the people that we physically see, but all of this universal, global influence that comes through social media and the internet in general, it gets much more confusing to discern and to see how this is all impacting us. And the way that the apps we use are designed, the way that the services are designed, makes them tools of unawareness. You get in, you watch a video, or read a short post, or get a message with a quote or whatever it is, and before you have the time to become aware how that is impacting you, if that is aligned with your values or not, if that is going to help you be the person you want to be or not, if that is positive or not, before you realize all that, before you have the time to think about all that, you've already scrolled to the next one. And so all of these influences are entering our mind and body without us even realizing, while we think we're having fun. So that's something to think about. This is the only shortcut to self-discipline that I know of. Being extremely selective about the people and influences in your life. Everything else is an effort, a technique, a mindset shift, a willpower thing, an awareness thing. But this one is the only passive income of self-discipline, is making sure that you have the right influences around you. What happens if the influencers are your housemates who don't have goals, just live average lives? Karma asks. I always get a variation of this question. What if it's my brother? What if it's my cousin, my uncle, my grandma? And in some cases, it's a little bit more challenging. But, many years ago, I was sharing a flat. So I had flatmates and housemates, and it was the same thing. As much as possible, realize that you have a choice. You have a choice to, when you are seeing who you want to share a house with, you can choose people who are more aligned. And sometimes that's not possible. It's just like it doesn't come. But if you are strong in your path, the universe will send you the right people. And if it doesn't, if it sends you the wrong people, it's to test you. How strong are you in your values, in your decisions? And the stronger you are, the more firm and grounded you are in your values and aspirations and mindset, the less you will be influenced. So that's one piece of the puzzle. And the other piece is, as much as possible, make choices to surround yourself with people who affirm your aspirational identity, who help you be the best version of yourself. I can usually separate myself and look on them with kindness and see them as doing their best, even if they only complain. Yes, that is a good thing. It's not about feeling that you are superior to other people. It's not about feeling that they're not good enough for you. It's just that your energies and mindsets and goals don't match. So it's respecting your time and their time. That is being kind to yourself. An act of self-love. That's also being kind to them. When there's a clash of roles like this, the strongest one will win. So if you're really strong about living a healthy life, they will be influenced to move a little bit in this direction. If you're kind of like this, like it sounds like a good idea, but you're not fully committed, and they're like strongly about just, partying and eating sugar every day and alcohol and whatever it is, you will be pulled in that direction. The strongest one will win. And what I mean by strongest, the one that has, that is not going to waver from that way of being, which is where the training of awareness and willpower comes in. In one of my YouTube videos, I explored this idea a couple of months ago, that either your aspirations are bending your reality or your reality is bending your aspirations. And your reality includes the people around you. So there are these two ways. Being really strong about your aspirations, that takes effort and practice, training your awareness and willpower. That is the best solution. And then the easy solution, the shortcut, the only shortcut that I know, as I told you, is to have the right people in your life. What if you need to cut off a toxic sibling? Let that be the case. Wish them well, bless them, but you don't want them in your world. And that's okay. You have that right. It's not that you're judging them. It's not that you are demanding them to be different. It's just that you have the choice of which people come into your life. And that choice is a free choice. You can put whatever requirements you want. If the requirements are unachievable, you may end up alone. And for some people, that's a better choice. The Buddha would probably agree, as we'll see soon. But you have the freedom to determine what influences you want into your life or not. And are there costs to breaking certain relationships and influences that are not helpful? Yes. There could be emotional costs, there could be financial costs, there could be the cost of going through difficult conversation. Yes, there are costs, but there are also costs of keeping them in your life. And we need to be aware of this. I don't tell them my goals or dreams, as I don't want their negative energies to cloud my mind. And I focus on, yes, absolutely. I would do the same. Never share your goals and dreams to someone who you're not sure will be supportive. Keep them sacred. We can practice gratitude for our own self-discipline and be their influencer with our beliefs, energy, words, and actions. Plant the seed for others and it will grow throughout the community. Yes, you can do that. Some people, though, are not interested in changing and growing. And so we have to be careful of where we put our energy. If we take other people as projects, and I'm not saying that that's your case, like I don't know anything about you. Just saying from my own life and observing people around me. When we take other people as our project, like, okay, I'll keep him or I'll keep her in my life so that I can be a good influence on them. Is this the right project? Is this the right allocation of our resources? It's another thing to be like the sun. The sun shines its light on everyone. The sinner and the saint. The good person and the bad person. The one who is going after good goals and the one who is going after harmful goals. That's something else. You be yourself, and everyone who is ready to get in sync, to resonate with that way of being, they will. And other people who are not, they will not find it interesting. They will not resonate. They will not connect. But then you don't go and change your vibration to resonate with lower vibrations just so you can keep those relationships. Just so you can speak their language, just so you can talk through the same emotions. That wouldn't make sense. Don't dim your light. If it makes some people blind, that's not your fault. Oh my God, I've done this to my detriment. Yes. It's so hard for me to grasp, especially letting go of loved ones. As the saying goes, bad company corrupts good character. Yes. For me, the strongest metaphor for this is one bad apple spoils the bunch. Doesn't matter how strong the other apples are, one bad apple will have that influence. There are a lot of studies about this, that one new team member that goes into the company or whatever is the setting, if that team member is kind of lazy and demotivated, it will affect everyone else, even if before they were really focused and committed and doing their best and having good work ethics, etc. One bad apple spoils the bunch. And almost every family on the planet has a bad apple. Right? Who is the one in your family? I know who is the one in my family. And the thing is, whenever this happens, there are people who will protect, enable the behavior of that toxic person. They're known as the enablers. Some people call them the flying monkeys. And when you realize and you start getting some distance or cutting off, you will be shamed by some people, by those enablers. So as I said, there is a cost. But that cost is small compared to being close to the bad apple. More than one. Yes. I'm going more in depth on this topic in my new book that I'm publishing next year, March next year, Why is Confidence? The longest chapter on that book is about people in our life and how to navigate relationships in a way that is empowered. Because you can have the right mindset and trying to work on yourself, but if the relationships in your life are disempowering you, are breaking your self-image, that's very difficult. Enablers are unbelievable. Yes, and no amount of facts will help them change their mind. No amount of reasons, no amount of suffering will help them change their mind. When you fully realize this, when the coin drops that is the case, then you can relax about it. You can accept that is their nature. This is my nature. And what do I want to do about it? But while we're still trying to, why don't they understand? And maybe I'll say it in this way, and then maybe I'll have that conversation, and maybe then we're still involved in that mess. We're in quicksand. The more we move, the more we sink. Friends and family have different levels of awareness, says Diana. Maybe they only see the material side of life and they cannot evolve or do not want. That's okay. Each with their own evolution. Yes. Now, if you're still in the beginning of the path and their skepticism throws doubt in yourself, in your own path, then maybe you would want some distance for a while. But if you're already firm and they have different beliefs, that's okay. You're not going to be influenced. So where were we? So, and your influences, as I've said, is people you spend time with, people you watch, listen to, read, or learn from. Some people in your life don't want you to succeed. Maybe that's the case because they just envy you. That you have skills that they don't have, that you are younger, that you have maybe more resources, that you have more motivation, that you are holding on to a dream where they have long ago given up theirs. Maybe your progress is highlighting their feelings of inadequacy. And instead of using that as a fuel for like, okay, why can't I do that too? Yes, I can. Let me go and do it. Using that as inspiration. Instead, some people want to, just stop that because it's making me feel bad. Stop that person. And this often happens at a subconscious level. Well, for some people, it may be more conscious and still it's the way they are. Maybe they think they don't deserve to go after a certain goal and they feel triggered that you dare to try. Maybe they don't believe the goal is possible or good. It's a clash of ideologies. Maybe they are appearing selfless and concerned. Or maybe they are selfless and concerned. They are trying to dissuade you from following your dreams so that you don't get hurt. But still, it's coming out of their own insecurities and fears and self-doubt, even though with a good intention. Whatever is the case, we need to learn how to identify how people are influencing us. What is going on? What is their intention? What is the energy behind their words and actions? Do they want you to succeed or not? Are they enthusiastic when you make progress and support you to go further? Or are they like, oh, okay, congratulations, nice. No, inside there, we need to be able to read these things and then to carefully choose the influences we want more of. Some people will just make your journey harder, and having them in your life, being part of their world and them of your world, will just delay your goals, your aspirations. Avoid them at all costs, or avoid them if you can. Life is too short to be spent with narcissists, haters, naysayers, skeptics. So what should we do? Wish them well, but know that you don't resonate. Recognize that your values and mindsets don't match. And if someone in your family, you will still see each other, hello, how are you, good morning, etc. in family gatherings, etc. But you don't need to blend. You don't need to overshare. You don't need to open up. You just know that when you open up, something that is going to come is not helpful. Sometimes not even well-meaning. Respect your time and theirs by setting boundaries. The Buddha says, in the path, keep the company of those that are like you or higher. There's no place for the company of fools. There are many similar quotes by the Buddha and also in other spiritual traditions, in other philosophies. We become more like the people we spend time with. So as much as possible, we need to be aware of this and make choices. At times, difficult choices. But these difficult choices will liberate you. So my question for you is, what is one person in your life that you don't want in your life anymore? Or 1 to 3 influences that are not helpful for you. And how do you know if they are helpful or not helpful? You keep the company and spend time with people who understand you, who motivate you, who support you, who push you forward. If you can have company of people who have already achieved what you want to achieve, that can be inspiring and they can be mentors. Or people who are also on fire about their own goals. And there are a lot of lessons from one journey that apply to the other journey. Avoid the company of those who can't see you, those who discourage you or discourage your values, your goals, those who are always finding problems and faults. Now, the Buddha has also said that we should keep as a dear friend a person that points out our flaws, right? So if you have someone who is well-meaning and is pointing out your blind spots, your shortcomings, the things that you're not aware of, the points of growth for you, there is a tendency of not wanting to go there because it can be painful, uncomfortable. But that person in your life is a treasure. If you are goal-oriented, and if you're watching this, I believe you are, that person then is a treasure because that person will help you stretch beyond your current boundaries. But if it's someone who is not well-meaning and who is just finding faults for no good reason, as an attack, as a way of manipulating you, shaming you, then that person doesn't need to be in your life. And people who drag you down. There's another quote, I think it's from the Buddha or from a yogi, that it is better to be the enemy of a wise person than the friend of a fool. Because if you're the enemy of a wise person, you will learn and grow even in that journey. And while if you have fools, as the Buddha puts it, as your friends, they will take you astray. They will influence you in the wrong way. And again, wish them well. Pray for their well-being if you want to. Have compassion. Everyone is in a given place in their journey. And that's okay. There are probably some high masters out there who would not want my company because for them I'm a fool. So it depends on the level. We can all be fools and we can all be wise people, depending on, are we looking down or are we looking up? Are we trying to grow? Are we cultivating awareness and willpower? Well, if we're not, then we are fools. If we're going into bad habits, bad decisions, things that are going to hurt ourselves and other people, then we're acting foolish. But if we're trying to grow, even though we may be failing, but we're not giving up, we are focused, we are on the journey, then we are in that path of wisdom. So the homework for today, go through the exercises in the workbook. There is an influencer's detox in the workbook. It will take you through this process in a very structured way, where you make a list of people and influencers. Then you decide which ones you want more of, which ones you want less of, and which ones are okay as is. And then you go and take action based on that exercise. Right, let me see if we have any questions. Thank you for the notes. I'm getting more and more distant from my family because I have worked so much on my evolution, and they don't like that. It is not easy for them to understand this new me. I'm navigating through this. Yes, they expect you to be the old you. They expected you to be the conditioned self, not the designed self. After all, they helped you be the conditioned self. While the designed self is your own choice. They were not part of that. It's your own design. So they expect you to be the person they have conditioned you to be. Anyone who is in the path of personal growth will face this challenge to some degree. And by the way, if this class is helpful for you, consider leaving a donation. These classes are made possible by donations of appreciative listeners. Sometimes I forget to ask, so when it comes to my mind, I ask. You can support this class by donating. Either you're watching this through Insight Timer or my YouTube channel. There should be a donate button somewhere in there. You can also support my work by getting extra copies of the book for friends and family, and also by leaving an Amazon review on my book. We are trying to get to 1,000 reviews, because when we get to 1,000 reviews, the way that this work is going to be perceived is different. There will be more publishers from other countries wanting to translate the book into their languages, and so it will allow me to reach more people with this message. Currently, the book is available in English and Portuguese. It is soon being published in Chinese and Turkish, but I have a dream of publishing it in 20 languages. So all support in spreading this word, this message, will be welcomed. Thank you, Jill, Abs, Marianne, for the donations. I have started a book club with your book, and we read and discuss together. Wonderful. It has helped us so much. Very nice. Do you guys meet physically, or is it online? All right, let me get back to the questions. There are those who are resentful of what you have. Yes. How do we handle those resentful ones? Well, you cannot control the way they think and the way they feel. What you have, they can also have, if they work for it. In almost all cases, that is true. But if instead of working to fulfill one's goals, we go and resent other people who already have those things and we haven't, maybe it came effortlessly for them. It's okay. If you believe in karma, you know why. They have done that work. Just we can't see it. Or maybe they have put a lot of work now to get it, and you can do that too. I would say don't mind them. Let them think and feel whatever they want to think and feel. Have this emotional barrier around you where you don't allow those feelings to come into you. Thank you, Lisa and Ben. Name of the book, Mindful Self-Discipline. Okay, next one, Nick. Aren't we all the same really, just have different vibrations, mindsets from past experiences? Stay or walk away, but always shine the light. Yeah, always be yourself. Be true to yourself. The Greek philosopher used to say, know thyself, and then be true to thyself. That's the only way you can be happy. That's the only way you can serve, by being who you are, the best version of who you are. Now, there's this metaphor, we can be courteous but not oversharing. Yes, absolutely. There's this metaphor, I think it's from Buddhism again, where if you get a normal piece of wood and you leave it next to the sandalwood, little by little the normal piece of wood will get that nice smell. If you get a normal piece of wood and you put next to a place where it's smelling bad, little by little it will get that smell. And so it's similar to us. We are getting the thoughts, the emotions, the habits, the vibrations of the people around us. The more contact, the quicker that process is, the deeper it goes. My extended family for sure, who keeps on calling me to their family functions and gatherings and killing time in general. I'm so done. Yes. Mom and brother, I have already cut them out of my life and I'm much happier. One of my employers. Yes. One of the people I work with, he is a coaching client, he's a very successful lawyer. He put it very simply. He says, the quality of my life is the quality of the clients I work with. Because yes, you're going to be spending a lot of time with them. You're going to be serving them and answering their demands. So it's another variant of the same principle. The people we're working with influences us. I still love her, but I can't make excuses for her anymore, and I wish her the best. Yes. Yes. Any other question? Can you review your Amazon link here, please? It's not possible to share links in the Insight Timer comments, but if you go to Amazon and you type Mindful Self-Discipline, you will get to my book. Thank you. Do you have tips on how to not care about what other people think of you? There are certain clothes I want to wear, but I'm scared of judgment. Well, they will think what they will think. Whatever they think belongs to that space in between their ears. If you don't care, it doesn't affect you. And so this is it's tough to answer the how of this. It's almost like a decision. It's something that you repeat to yourself, like whatever they think, it's fine. It's not going to hurt me. It's just electrical impulses in their brain. Why should I care? I am doing what is aligned for me, and that's it. There's another quote from the Buddha. I think today the whole Dhammapada is downloading in my brain, where he says, well, this one might not be from the Dhammapada though, but he says, those who speak a lot are criticized. Those who don't speak at all or speak little are criticized. Those who speak in moderation are also criticized. So the point is, whoever you are, whatever you do, some people will like, some people will hate. And when we really realize this, then it gives us freedom to be who we want to be. If whatever you're going to do is going to be criticized, you might as well do what you want. You might as well do what is aligned with your values, putting it in a better way. Thank you, Una. It's gone as far as even picking up their mental illnesses. Yes. We know that when a person suicides, there are more suicides around that person in that community, often of the same type. I forgot the name of the author, but that book, Predictably Irrational, a great book. He talks about this. When athletes suicides, other athletes are going to suicide. A person suicides in a particular way, other people in that community who got exposed to that news who are kind of like, should I not? They will go and do the same thing. And so it's the power of our influencers. When we are afraid, our immune system is weaker than when we are confident and feeling good. So what happened when during the pandemic, everyone is just talking about the COVID, this amount of cases, this amount of people dying. Oh my God, it's horrible. We expose ourselves to these news. We get afraid. We get apprehensive. Our cells, our nervous system respond to that message from our mind, and we get weaker and we get more vulnerable to the disease. Alas. So at times, the best thing you can do is to just cut that source of negative influence. Now, the final topic about people in our life is accountability. Accountability is a very popular topic among people who write about habit building. I think it's overemphasized. And it's overemphasized for a reason. First is that it works. And it's quick. The effects are kind of immediate. But the problem is, it doesn't help you become strong. It doesn't help you develop your own awareness and willpower. It can be a bit of a crutch at times. That if other people are doing it, I can. Otherwise, I cannot be self-driven. I cannot keep myself accountable. Now that is a problem. At the same time, it works. It is a tool in the toolbox of self-discipline and also of mindful self-discipline. But there's a reason why I've only included it in chapter 35 after covering the 3 pillars. That we use accountability in mindful self-discipline as a support to our journey, not in replacement for training our awareness and willpower through the tools in the book. So we seek to rely on ourselves. That instead of going and sitting under the shade of another tree, you yourself can be a big tree that gives shade to many. You can be a light unto yourself. And then we're going to have a better world. Many people being lights unto themselves rather than relying on external conditions. Yet, you can use accountability as long as you are already doing the work on the 3 pillars. Use accountability as a way to support your journey. Yes, that is a good idea. And you can have that through community, an accountability partner, or a coach. Community is the easiest. You make sure that you become part of a group that wants the same thing, that is on the same journey. If you are an entrepreneur or a freelancer, you may want to be part of masterminds, of groups, online communities, summits, whatever it is, of people with the same mindset and the same goal. And every time you participate in that, you go into one of those events, you spend time with like-minded people, you feel stronger in your own journey. There's a new leash of life into what you're doing. An accountability partner. Okay, I'm going to talk about the other 2 in a moment. So first, a catch about accountability. By accountability, I don't mean go and share in social media the goal that you want to achieve. Or tell all your friends that this year I'm going to achieve this goal. There are several studies showing that when you share your goals like that, it actually demotivates you. It demotivates you because your mind gets a premature sense of completeness. That sense of emotional satisfaction that you would get only at the end of the journey, you are having a little bit of that in the beginning of the journey. And so there is less reason for you to go through the journey. There is less fire about it. You've already satisfied that urge to some degree without going through the journey and actually getting the goal, making the change. You get water too soon and your fire cools down. It may completely extinguish your fire, although that's rare, but it may cool down your fire. So you delay the journey, you procrastinate. As you're going through the journey, you meet obstacles. You don't have all the energy that you need to overcome them. You feel that maybe this means it's the end and this is not for me. While if you are on full fire, you would just burn all the obstacles on the way. So delay the experience of water, satisfaction, until you have actually achieved your goal. In the book, Dopamine, the Molecule of More, the author states that passion delayed is passion sustained. Passion delayed is passion sustained. So a better way would be that you share the pain of the process. I am training hard. I will train hard 5 days a week, every week this year. Rather than sharing the excitement of the end result. I will run a marathon this year. Another option is you keep your goals secret. Keep that energy to yourself. Don't dissipate it. And then you get accountability via a single accountability partner or a coach or mentor. So that's it. That's what I had to share on chapter 35, People in Your Life. Now let me know if you have any questions about this as we're moving on to the second topic today. Nadia says, if you lay down with dogs, you're bound to catch fleas. Yes. I love dogs, but not fleas. Yes, a good one. Nitin, I have started a book, but I feel a little stuck in the aspiration questions. I have clarity on some short-term goals. Is that good enough? Yes, you can start with that. Learn the framework of mindful self-discipline. Get some momentum. Get moving. And then you can review your aspirations, go through those questions again later. That can be a very deep process. When I work through this process with coaching clients, it can take 3, 4, 5 sessions. So don't feel bad that you don't have the perfect clarity yet. You have enough clarity to get started. And over time, as you grow in awareness, as you actually walk the path, you will become more clear on what matters to you and why. The exercises in the workbook will help. And also there are some guided meditations for the aspiration pillar as part of my app, Mindful Self-Discipline. So you may want to have a look at that. And by the way, there are notes of everything we're talking about here today and also of the previous class for those who missed. They are in the resources page. Where do you find the resources page? If you're watching me through the Insight Timer app, then you can search for my name, Giovanni, on the app. You will get to my teacher's profile page, and the link is in the bio. If you're watching me on YouTube, I'm going to place the link here. Cut off the fear, the negative fear-mongering media, yes. We can never please everyone all the time. Might as well be true to ourselves. If you're being our best selves, then we can shine brighter too. This topic is education. Okay, good. So now talking about supportive lifestyle, sleep, food, and exercise. We'll put most emphasis on sleep. Why is sleep important? There are thousands of research papers talking about this. Lack of sleep leads to, among other things, poorer decisions, more mood swings, decreased mental clarity, and weaker willpower. It is harder for you to be disciplined if you are lacking sleep. So to make self-discipline easier, make sure that you have enough good quality sleep every night. Or in some days you can go and have a nap to complement your sleep. Now this in itself is a challenge for some people. How do I get enough sleep? How do I get quality sleep? Well, self-discipline is required for that. There are 3 elements that are important for having good sleep. Let me just share the new one. Relaxation, environment, and routine. So let's talk first about relaxation, which is the easiest one to understand and implement. For you to fall asleep and for your sleep to be deep and restorative, you need to be in a state of physical and mental relaxation. And meditation is a great help for that. Physical relaxation can be achieved by Yoga Nidra. I have a guided meditation of Yoga Nidra for free on the Insight Timer app. And I think tens of thousands of people have listened to it. Some people use it every night to go to bed. I have heard countless times that I have never heard the end of this meditation. I mean, they fall asleep in the middle always. So Yoga Nidra is one of the most powerful techniques out there to help you fall asleep. Then there are many forms of pranayama, of breathing exercises that will help you calm down your body and nervous system in preparation for sleep. Alternate nostril breathing is one of them. And then we have progressive muscle relaxation. This is a very short technique that helps you release muscular tension so that you are ready for sleep. The way it goes is that you take an in-breath, you contract all the muscles in a muscle group while holding your breath, and then you exhale and let go of all the tension. And then you get to a state of relaxation that is much deeper, much more relaxed than your initial state, your baseline. And you go through your whole body like this. It takes about 2 or 3 minutes. So these are some different ways to get physical relaxation. Then mental relaxation. Your body may be fully relaxed, but if your mind is tense, if your mind is spinning non-stop, it's going to take you a while to fall asleep, and that may be very frustrating. So how do we achieve mental relaxation of the mind? Yoga Nidra meditation can also help. There are several styles of meditation that are more relaxing by nature. And there's also Trataka meditation, gazing. Candle gazing or gazing other objects can be very helpful to combat insomnia and to help you fall asleep. I worked with a world-renowned DJ, very successful man, that the main problem in his life was sleep. After several years of having a lifestyle that did not favor sleep, he couldn't fall asleep. He couldn't sleep enough. He was not well rested, and that was affecting his well-being, his mental health. One of the things that we tried and that worked like magic was Trataka, a form of gazing meditation. Now, if you are a member of the Insight Timer app, there is a course that I've published called Finding the Best Style of Meditation for You. One of those lessons is Yoga Nidra. The other lesson is Trataka, candle gazing. And there's another lesson also helpful for sleep, which is inner silence. If you're not a member of the Insight Timer app, I have this same course in my own app, Mindful Self-Discipline, and you can try it there. There are also non-meditation activities that help you relax and be ready for sleep. Listening to calming music. There are some really good playlists on Spotify for sleep. Stretching, some light yoga, having aromatherapy with lavender oil, some types of tea like passion flower, chamomile, valerian root. And some people find that warming your hands and feet is helpful to fall asleep. So these are all things that help you with the relaxation element of good sleep. Then we have environment. Your sleep environment can be helping your sleep or hindering your sleep. Now, what are some things to look out for? You want to make your room pitch dark as possible, and with cool temperature. If it's not possible to make it fully dark, then you can wear an eye mask. You want to make your room as silent as possible. And if you live in a noisy neighborhood, as I used to live several years ago, then you may need earplugs. I've tried all sorts of earplugs, and I found that the beeswax ones are the best. Or, if that doesn't work for you, you can use a white noise machine or white noise apps. Have some background noise or some nature sounds or white noise to help you tune out from everything else. The other thing is associate your bed with sleeping. Don't work there. Don't watch TV there. Bed is for sleep. Otherwise, you're going to your bedroom and in your mind, you're not telling yourself the message that it's time to sleep. It could be the time to watch TV or work or anything else. Making sure you have a comfortable mattress, a good pillow, maybe an orthopedic pillow that preserves the natural curvature of your neck. Most people find that having a pillow under their legs or in between their legs is helpful to have a good position to fall asleep. So all of this can help. Avoid sleeping on your stomach, sleep on your back or on your side. And if your pets wake you up at night, you may want to keep them out of the bedroom. For many people, waking up in the middle of the night makes it really difficult for them to fall asleep or to have good sleep after that. So that's what we need to be aware of when it comes to environment. Now, the most challenging one for most people is the third element, which is routine. Now, routine is about having a well-regulated circadian rhythm. The purpose of sleep routine is to regulate your circadian rhythm. The circadian rhythm is one of the most important, if not the most important, biorhythm in your body. It regulates the other biorhythms. It affects your energy levels, your moods, your hormones, body temperature. It prepares the body to go to bed and knows when it's time to get up. So it's quite simple. If you're not giving a stable rhythm to your body is not giving you stable energy. So having a well-regulated circadian rhythm is very important. As we grow old, it becomes even more important. So how do we regulate our circadian rhythm? There are 3 important tips. Even that's difficult, 5 days a week at least. But the more stable is your wake-up time and your sleep time, the better will be your sleep. Which also means you will sleep deeper and you might need less sleep. Your body gets ready to sleep an hour to 2 hours before sleep time. And so if your body doesn't know when is sleep time, your body can't get ready. which means that the initial part of your sleep is not as good as it could be, and it can take longer to fall asleep. Your body also prepares itself to wake up an hour before you wake up. If your body doesn't know when it's time to wake up because it's a different time every day, your body cannot get ready. And so you wake up feeling groggy, not ready for your day. So regular sleep and wake up times is the most important tip for regulating your circadian rhythm. The second one is controlling light exposure. So the circadian rhythm is associated with the pineal gland, and that is activated by light. When light comes in, your pineal gland feels it's time to wake up. Let's start the engine. And when it's getting dark, it's time to start cooling down and going to bed. The rhythms of nature, night and day. In the past, we would fall asleep a couple of hours after sunset and wake up with sunrise or a little bit before sunrise. But we have electricity, lights, devices, and so all the time can be day for our body. So that gets dysregulated. We are not in sync with nature as much as before. So how do we fix this? The most important thing is avoid blue light the one hour before going to bed. And what is blue light? The light that our computers, phones, tablets, TV, our devices emit blue light. Now you can set night mode on your devices to automatically start at a given time, an hour or two before bed. You can avoid the devices altogether an hour before bed. That would be even better. Or you can wear those orange colored glasses that block out the blue light. And the second tip for controlling your light exposure is get some sun. Look out through the window and get some sun as soon as you wake up. You woke up, open the window, look outside for 2 or 3 minutes, and that sends a strong message to your body that it's day. It's time to start. And then the third element is to avoid overstimulation before sleep. And there are a lot of specific guidelines that sleep experts share around this topic. In summary, the most important ones are 6 hours before bed, no alcohol, no caffeine. More if possible. 3 hours before bed, no physical exercise and no heavy meals. And an hour before bed, no smoking, no heated conversations, no mental stimulation, worrying, or drinking water. Why not drinking water? Because otherwise you may need to wake up in the middle of the night. That interrupts your sleep, and some people may have trouble falling asleep again or having good sleep after that. If you do wake up in the middle of the night, what I do is I go to the bathroom with my eyes closed, wash my hands and come back, because if light comes into my eyes, I know that the body would get confused about is it time to wake up or not. So routine is about regulating your circadian rhythm, and that is going to be good for your body in general. And we do that by following these 3 tips: having regular sleep and wake up times 7 days a week, regulate light exposure, no blue light before sleep, and have some sun as soon as you wake up, and avoid overstimulation before bed. If you do that, you're going to have a stable and healthy circadian rhythm. And of course, if you change all of this from one day to another, you're not going to experience the results immediately, but after a month, 2 months, 3 months, you will definitely notice it. So let me see if there are any questions. Yeah, I've read Dopamine, the Molecule of More. I was going to read Dopamine Nation, but from the reviews, it seems that that book was a bit disappointing. So I chose the other one. I have a white noise machine too. My air purifier is my white noise machine. I hit the sack and wake up at the same time every day, and I still feel exhausted. Is it enough sleep? Fatigue or low energy, there are many elements that go into this. Maybe the sleep element is all good for you, but the feeling of exhaustion could be coming from other things. It could be coming from physical aspects, things in your body, things in your lifestyle. It could be coming from the mind. It could be coming from the emotions. If you're always struggling with negative emotions, for example, or negative self-talk, that can create a feeling of exhaustion, even if your sleep is perfect and your food is perfect and your lifestyle is good. So it's a complex problem. Yeah, I like Huberman's podcast too. I struggle with partially opening the curtains to let more fresh air during the night, but then the light bothers me in the morning. Yes. Okay. Now, briefly touching upon food and exercise. These are not my areas of expertise. I just know enough of their intersection with self-discipline. So if you have good sleep, healthy eating, and regular exercise, your self-discipline gets easier. These are the lifestyle elements that can make self-discipline easier. We talked about good sleep. Let's now briefly cover these two. Now, there's a lot of advice on food out there, different diets for different needs and purposes. From the point of view of self-discipline, what is important in diet is that we keep high glucose levels. The research of Roy Baumeister, you can read the book Willpower, Rediscovering the Greatest Human Strength, makes it clear that there is a biological basis for willpower, and that is your glucose levels in your blood. The more stable are your glucose levels, the more stable will be your experience of willpower, your availability of willpower, so to speak. And there's a whole other dimension to this, which is more about mindset, belief, etc. But the physical dimension also matters. So we eat in a way that keeps a stable level of blood glucose. And two ways that we can achieve this. One is to eat food with low glycemic index. Food that has low glycemic index, the way it releases glucose in the blood, it's very slow and gradual. So it keeps a more steady rhythm. If it has a high glycemic index, it will release all at once. Then you have that spike and the crash, which is not what we want. And the second way to maintain stable levels of blood glucose is through intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is when you have all your calorie intake, all your food intake in a limited window of time, such as 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, and you have a water-only fast all the other hours of the day. So the most popular protocol is the 16-8. You eat during 8 hours, you fast during 16 hours. So that could mean skipping your breakfast, having a lunch around 12, and having the last bite at 8 p.m. So you can have a lunch and dinner, a snack in the middle if you really need to, and that's it. For the rest of the day, just water. Now, I practiced a more extreme version of this called OMAD, 1 meal a day, where it was like 23-1. 23 hours of water only fasting every day, 1 hour when I have one meal with everything I need. And I did that for several months. Then now what I'm doing is more like a 19-5, or in many days a 24. So for at least 19 hours a day, I will fast. And for 5 hours a day, I'm going to have a small-ish breakfast, and a large lunch. And that's it for me. So that is another way of keeping stable level of glucose in your blood. Now, finally, when it comes to exercise, there's plenty of research showing that exercise reduces fatigue. Regular exercise reduces fatigue, increases the supply of oxygen and glucose to the brain, increases the volume of the prefrontal cortex, which is associated with self-discipline, awareness, willpower, and makes your willpower, your self-control stronger. So it helps you to be more disciplined from many different points of view. So that's what I had to share about lifestyle, sleep, food, and exercise. I'll see if you guys have any questions now, and then we will finish the class. I have Hashimoto and migraines. Intermittent fasting causes more problems. Yes, that's why there are more than one approach. Intermittent fasting is not for everybody. If it's not for you, you can try prioritizing foods with low glycemic index. How many hours of sleep is optimal? That varies from person to person. For me, 7 is enough. It used to be 8, now it's 7. I attribute great part of that to meditation. The mind is less busy, so therefore it takes less energy. All right, so as we are closing the class today, I would love to hear from you. What is your biggest takeaway from this class? What is the one thing? Maybe an exercise, an insight, a story, a metaphor. The one thing that you want to make sure you take into your life and practice this week. If you can share that in the comments, that would be great. Then we can all learn from you. Being meticulous about the people I surround myself with. Rubbing your hands and feet is relaxing. Surround myself with positive influences. I'll start Trataka from today. I have a very long article on Trataka on my first website, liveandthere.com, so you can read it there too. Sleep routine. For many people that I've worked with, the getting to bed on time is one of the most challenging habits. The tip for that is have an alarm on your phone reminding you to go to bed. Prep for sleep, wind down, however you want to call that alarm. And it could be 15 minutes before, half an hour before. Some people put it an hour before. It's up to you. That really helps. The metaphor of the wood absorbing the surrounding aromas. Yeah, I love that metaphor the first time I heard it. Keep the company of those who are like you or higher. Okay. So next week, same day, same time, we are going to have session 21 of this series, and that will cover the topic of meditation. Meditation and self-discipline. How does meditation help self-discipline? How does self-discipline help meditation? What are the different types of meditation and the most effective approach when the goal is to become more disciplined? So that will be covering chapter 37 of the book. I hope to see you all next class. And until then, stay disciplined and take care.